But I did realize that I wanted to do a hinge where I can have the knee movement, but also where the lower leg can be moved as well for when he's in city mode. Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the Digital Paul Workshop. It is I, that one that belongs to the streets, that one that belongs to the night, Techno Meow Tinkerer. And today we're going to go over a time-lapse video of me creating Metroplex, and I figured it'd be a perfect time to create Metroplex. After all, the Decepticons have two places to stay for the holiday season. The Autobots need a place to stay as well to get out the cold, and for Santa to visit them. Although I don't think the Santa needs to leave coal for the Decepticons, because for them that might be a reward since they can turn it into Energon. But let's dive into Metroplex. As you can see, I've already kind of created an Autobot city once before, and this was a very simplistic one. I was trying to see what it would be like if you had all the toys to create an actual city. And there's a project I do want to do where I want to find some cheap, maybe knockoff versions of toys. I can repaint them all to look like the actual Autobot city in the movie, all orange. But I kind of pulled this one, the one I originally did in, because I think I got close enough to the toy proportions that it'd be good basis to go over this. Although I did change some stuff. Now here I'm making my, not patent pending, I should say, not really, but the double hinge joint, because it's become a go-to for a lot of these transformations to have a hidden hinge. And the one thing I remember about learning with Scorponok is on the road I want to make sure I put them where the vehicles won't go, because if I make him big enough for the Autobots to be in, that's a pretty big gap between the road and the hinge. And I did the fold down piece here for the simple reason is I wanted it where they could drive up and also fold back, so if I could connect any of the other bases to each other. Because not only just Fortress Masters, but although I think the Micromaster series had a lot of vehicles that turn their bases. Although technically they would not be the same size, I don't think, but I could be wrong. I've never I've only had some of the Micromasters, but I never had any of the cities. Wait a minute, I do got one of the Micromaster videos. I'd pull him out and pull Onslaught out and see how the proportions are. But I think the roads are smaller. Yeah, I'm trying to get some of the detail in as we go. Now, one of the things I did differently, as you can tell, I didn't put the foot there, is because I was influenced by one of the Japanese, I think, knockoff designs in Metroplex. And not Japanese, Chinese. The Japanese gonna hate me for confusing the two, but yeah, the Chinese knockoff. And they had the foot where it actually transforms separate. It's connected to the fold-out piece, and I thought that was a good idea. Oh yeah, now right here I'm working on the hinge of the knee, and this took a while to try to figure out how I wanted to do this, because I want the upper leg to be a corridor from the lower leg to the body, so when they drive up they can drive on in or walk on in or whatever. I still haven't yet to figure out how I'm going to do the doors, but I did realize that I wanted to do a hinge where I can have the knee movement, but also where the lower leg can be moved as well for when he's in city mode. And yeah, I'm now trying to design the piece that folds out. Now, like I said, with one of the things I did here is I copied what I saw on the knockoff. I think it's a knockoff. Now, they had a little bit more skinny, or not, well, skinny one way, but thicker the other way. Part of that leg, I didn't. I wanted kind of fleshed out, because where theirs kind of connects in and leaves a gap in the road, I don't want that. I kind of wanted to just go under the bottom. Now, one thing I was trying to do is figure out how to, within mobile base mode, how to get it, and I'm gonna probably redo the little, like, called knee guards, I think is what they originally called the toy, but redo them where it kind of moves, so when he transforms, they can kind of, it folds into place. I'm trying to get some of the hinge joints. I just did a one large double hinge for flipping the two over. Now, I did create a ramp for that one, which I probably might have sort of just did the fold out one. I can always probably go back and redo it if I need to, even though that would be work if I want to connect part of something to the backside. But I don't think there's going to really be any space when he's in city mode to connect something to the backside. Now, I did make the upper leg a little bit longer than the toy. because the toy, he has a short upper leg and long lower legs. I try to give it a little bit more proportion, because I think in the actual animation they kind of got them about halfway. I have to go back and check. It might be the Japanese and not the American, but I'm going to go back and look. Now I haven't fully decided what I'm going to do as far as the joint from the leg to the waist. I sit there and try to remember what the parts were, because to make it where you can walk on in, I'll probably have to haul it out somehow. I hadn't figured that part out yet. Now doing the chest area, the front side wasn't so bad, because based on what the toy looks like, it looks like it's almost like close to being a perfect square. But trying to figure out the depth was a bit more tricky. Now doing the double hinge again for the part of the chest to fold out. And this is one thing I like about Metroplex. Metroplex City Mode actually looks nothing like a robot, the way he folds out everything, and kind of with some of the others. And I might go back and try to do something, if I can, with some of the others to see if I can give them a bit more of a look. I just thought it's something I could do with Scorpion. I'm about to look and see. But yeah, sitting here trying to figure out. Now I'm doing the missile launcher, and I just gave it a regular hinge because it doesn't really matter if that's sewn or not, because it only comes out for one of the weapons. Now doing this part here, creating the ramp that goes into the right chest. I'm gonna probably want to redo the ramp part, because it is a very steep incline, as we'll see at the end. The steep incline that I don't know, even for Autobot, was probably not a good thing. So I may want to try to figure out if I can redesign it where it folds out some way, or slides out, kind of like I did with Hotspot's ladder, where I have some multiple pieces fold. It'll probably require some redesigning of some stuff, but we can do that. And of course, I did make the back a little bit longer to try to give me a little bit more to work with as far as the ramp goes. I guess this is supposed to be a watchtower or a control tower. I'm not 100% sure what it's supposed to be, and I guess it's left up to the imagination. I might need to look at the instructions to see if it says. I don't think it really says in the old G1 instructions. You can find them online. That ain't the problem. I've actually looked at some of that stuff to get the idea of how some of the mechanics work on some of these things. Now I do need to go in and add the guns to the back of that one skyscraper, so when he goes into mobile base mode, the guns can pop out. But I hadn't quite decided how I'm going to design them yet, as far as design the hinge joints, I should say. Now when I originally did this, I made a mistake of connecting the elbow to the top arm, the upper arm instead of the lower arm or forearm, because I originally was basing it on the G1. I realized, wait a minute, I can't do this if I want to have the hand flip in, because I didn't want this to be. I want to try to avoid this as much as being a parts former as I could. So I decided to go in and redo the upper arm so that the elbow goes into it instead of the lower arm, and add a little bit of the detail from the toy on this side, because the back side of the arm is where the city part, and that's where I made the hinge door for that can open up. Now I got to I do have to create the part of the wrist yet that flips around. I have not made that yet, and I'm debating whether I want to use my default robot hinge, or do I just want to go and try to create a whole new hand for some of these figures, because some of the default robot hand just does not look good with them. So I might have to go in. Now that I'm getting better at Blender, I could probably actually recreate it. That might be a future video, is redoing that robotic hand, now that I've learned how to do some more stuff, and also figure out how to do some hinges. Oh yeah, I used the tank design that's for the left arm tower, but I decided to go ahead and put on both of them. And I actually see I had it on backwards and had to read through here. Now, I wish I couldn't get the shear tool to do it right, so I wanted to learn that, because I think it was supposed to allow me to turn stuff without it warping, but it didn't do that, seems like. But no, I used the tank design tower for both arms, because I realized in mobile base mode they could double as the guns that stick out. So that's why I ended up putting on both arms instead of just on the left arm. And what's good about me actually realizing I had it backwards is because right here you can see I can now fix where I can have the tower portion or the antenna portion of the tower fold down, because I was trying to figure out how to do that because it was in the way of the back of the arm folding out for the hand to pop out. And so that allowed me, as you can see right there, kind of going by real fast, in mobile base mode. We got him. And of course I knew I got to create the hinge joints for these shoulders. I hadn't figured out quite yet what I'm going to do. Now as far as 6 gun here, I'm not quite sure what I want to do 1% with him. I thought about this piece folding down because logically, if this is part of the tower of the city mode, then he can't operate. If he's in, of course, mobile base mode and robot mode, Metroplex needs all the guns. I know it's a cool gimmick of them trying to add something to the toy, but I'm not 1% sure I want to do that right here. And I thought about making this piece. I've only made it 2 pieces for right now, but thought about making it where it folds back on Metroplex, so it's kind of like it works like a backpack, almost similar to the other skyscraper. But I have not decided yet what I really want to do with it. Alright, so right now it's the only piece that's really a parts former. And I'm working on the head here. I tried my best to get as close as I could. Some of the pictures I'm working with just were not that great of quality. My cousin had Metroplex growing up. I didn't. But I did the best I could based on some pictures I've seen. And there was a fan art I found like on DeviantArt where they did close enough to the original G1 toy design. So I kind of looked at it some. Now, I do give him a neck where I don't think the toy had actually a neck. And I don't know if the cartoon, I did look at the cartoon to see if he had a neck too. Both the American and G1. Now, I don't know what the side pieces are right here. They look like they ought to be some sort of smokestacks. But they could double as energy cannons of some kind for the base mode and the city mode. Now, I know some people will actually have one up in city mode to give it more like a antenna look. And now, without any further ado, let us take a look at Metroplex. Come on, click. There we go. Here we go. System didn't want to work with me, and let's click off everything. So yeah, we got Metroplex city mode with a couple inhabitants for the holidays. So now you got Christmas. Like I said here, you can see here Fire Chief, how, whoops, he has a very steep incline. Let's go side view. And so the steep incline like that, I kind of really want to go a little bit more out there. So I might actually fix something with this piece here where it can slide into 2 pieces, kind of like I did with Hotspot's ladder, just so I can get a little bit more of not quite such a steep incline. I don't know, I can't remember what the opposite of a steep incline is. But as we got up here, we got Dust Up, where she's doing patrol. And of course, let's look at the well, let's switch over so you can kind of see the hand towers. You can see how this was working out as it actually extends the front tower a bit. Get over here so we can kind of see the 2. So it makes this, still makes this like one of the tallest towers, this being the second, and of course that there. Or this actually is the 3rd one, that's the 4th one. Looking closer to the head now. One thing I did, one reason I used that square you just saw was as you can kind of see here how it squares out, because that square flattens out into the part that fills up these gaps, and right now they don't have anything really to fill them up. Now I could probably, if I go in and I retool this, I could actually I can have that facing up, but I have not decided yet. I thought about leaving it as is, because I had to use a boolean tool. Let me see. There you go. take that out. You see, I got the Boolean tool. To have clean that out some. Come on, I want the head back to show back again. And I have to go into here to grab the actual base right there so I can bring him up. And let's switch over so I can see where I'm doing. Whoops, that's too high. Okay, why is grab Z. Okay. Let me see. Do I got? I'm curious. Oops. I don't wonder I couldn't see the eyes. I was wondering it's because the gun was in the way. Okay, I was wondering why it was not doing. Put the head back because he's supposed to be in base mode. Now, of course, we got Fly Up and Blaze. Now, if you're wondering why the two are looking kind of different, Fly Up is still the design from the time-lapse I did. I've actually gone in and retooled Blaze. Actually remade him completely with some of the new techniques I learned. And as you can see, Blaze is looking a little bit better than Fly Up. I still got a few things to do. I did use the Boolean to create a slot for these to go in, but I got to figure out how to hide it when he's in copter mode, because you can kind of see the upper leg there. And as I am using the glass from, as you saw my glass tutorial, I'm using one of them, and I like I said, I like the way that's looking. I like the way that looks. And so let's get on out here and on over to the Bay area. And of course, in the Bay area, we have Hotspot in base mode working on Pyromagna in there getting some repair work done. So as you can see, I don't think I'll be able to hook Hotspot up as a on the outside like you see on the toy and everything. Now I could probably actually create or just make a copy of him and scale him up and just let that be just a permanent fixture on the outside. But I have not decided if I'm going to do that yet. I might actually do something similar when I want to, if I was going to design these for to be toys, like keep the same gimmick. I'm not 1% sure. But wait, that is not all. We also have him in mobile base mode. Yes, you see here, we got him in mobile base mode. And that's not all. We also have him in robot mode. And wait, we still have more. We have Metro Titan. The only city transformer that I'm aware of where they took they made the recolor and put them on the opposite team. As far as I know, I think both of Xyrox and Scorponok, they're Decepticons. Trypticon, I have not really found an official recolor. I think there was like a little mini recolor of him, and they gave him the Japanese name, Dinosaurus, which is Trypticon's name in the Japanese series. And I think there's 3 Fortress Maximus color schemes, and each one's Autobot. So yeah, Metro Titan is the only one where it's a recolor of an Autobot, but put on the Decepticon side. So now the Decepticons got 3 bases instead of just 2 now. I gotta now create a Fortress Maximus to catch up the Autobots, but that will be a future video. I don't know when exactly I'm going to be trying to do that. But that is pretty much all the video, or all of the work I've done on Metroplex, for at least for the holidays, so the Autobots have a place for this Christmas to receive Energon from Santa Claus. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like my content and want to help support the channel, please like and subscribe and share this with anyone you think might find it interesting. I hope all of you have a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year.